Fair enough. There's so much to look at in the most recent matches for both of these teams as you go into Ascent. And the desk have talked about it. The XSET Optic game, the FaZe NRG game as well. Yeah. But you're coming in here on a half where FaZe were able to get a huge amount of rounds. They went 10-2, right, in their attack half, where they were playing against NRG. But for XSET, they also had a huge amount of success. When they were playing against Optic, they went 9-3 on their defense side. So this is the favored side for both teams, playing against, you know, similar-ish kind of compositions, especially for XSET.
Yeah. So
this first half is going to dictate a lot, I feel, in terms of who's able to get the upper hand on the other.
Deep breaths in order. At 4. It's XSET with everything to play for. Well, both teams, honestly. Listen,
yeah.
Don't want to discredit FaZe here. They're playing to stay in the series.
And what a run it would be if FaZe were able to make it at this point.
Cry already utilizing his dash now. Pistol round to set the stage. Oof. Make the mark early. Bit of damage applied. Cryo.
Some pretty heavy damage. And Cryo not inclined to go for the repeak, even though he had dash.
Lambot tucked up against the wall there. You can see they were trying to spam it out and pre-fire it, but it's at a slight different angle. There we go, finally found. That's broken.
When XSET were playing against Optic, their B players were dropping deep into the site.
No
They
way.
were giving Optic all of the mid control, and then just playing off their site anchoring.
What was the idea here for FaZe? Okay, Dart now comes through. Looks like they're just trying to hit it into A. Are the players able to get themselves in, though? Flash now off to the side. Cryo needs to start hitting some shots off, but luckily the team is there. Backing me up. XSET watching their sides. Dicey's low.
30 seconds left.
And they've got like a double lurk situation, but the spike is currently down.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
Almost went down to the turret.
Dancing with death. But this round is all on point.
Yeah. He's got the haunt in his hand. He's got a ghost, but the angle's being watched. And Dicey, there's no chance in hell, man. No chance in hell.
It's a good pistol round starting out here from XSET. Aaron cleans it up. You can see how this defensive composition is going to work. But that round, you actually had Aaron and Zekken fighting over the B main choke point, running a crossfire from logs and lane that I don't think you'll see too much once they get into the rifle rounds. And here the question is, do FaZe go for a force? FaZe love forcing on these second rounds, but only when they get the spike plant down. So it seems like, as expected, we're just getting a pistol.
And FaZe, I think, off the back of that, losing in the overtime fashion they just did. Now it's map point for XSET. Is where they're really, exactly, the mental game. That's what I'm trying to lead into here, because I've often, you know, spoken to the credit of FaZe, where they always play with confidence, but looks like Superman might have DC'd. He's just slowly walking into a wall.
Interesting. I don't think this is part of their attacking
No,
default.
don't think this is intentional. Might be having to take a quick pause. Yeah, yep. Some disconnects across the board, it seems like, for all the FaZe players.
The best round that it could possibly happen in, though.
Oh, sure. No, actually, that's a good point.
When FaZe all have classics in their hands and they don't really have to worry about it too much.
No.
But this is going to confuse the XSET players.
Yep. No, fully intentional. Wanted to get a round over fast, I guess.
Yeah.
This, yeah, probably have to be taking a tech pause off the back of this one. Something of that nature. Seeing if we can get these FaZe players back online. And now I'm left wondering, what is the longest game of VALORANT that's ever been played? What is the longest game of VCT history? Because
that's a serious question that we'll have to answer.
Don't want to put it in the air.
No,
but it's already here.
Yeah,
it's going to Ascend here. We're obviously 2 rounds in, as we've been mentioning previously, but we are here. Your eyes aren't deceiving you.
It's finally happened. It's taken a while, but all good things require a good old wait. Here we go into the round. FaZe playing the anti-bonus here. Cryo with an op in round 3.
Yep. Somehow finding his way with that one.
Playing on that aggressive B main kind of position off the back of the turret. Ends up falling off a little bit there to some of the B main pressure, and FaZe are regrouping over at A.
Important round for obvious reasons.
Take flight. I mean, just in some sense to get the morale back.
Absolutely.
Get the synergy flowing. Get the gears turning. FaZe all grouped up over at the A site right now. And Zekken's made the rotate. So there are going to be 3 players from XSET collecting this push Recon Dart not available to stop the push coming through, though, because Seconds used it for info earlier.
You see that fragment nade is going to be blocking up the choke point here, cutting it all off, but still the hit. Looks like FaZe might be wanting to commit into this one regardless. There's 42 seconds left in the round, and now they're only just starting to spill out into the site. Still an area the map just controlled, but not quite enough. Boys, he flicks to the side. He takes out Def, who was just holding it down at that door position. Potential for him to get a couple of kills.
And Dicey with 2 huge ones as well. Cryo Operator now noted. And you're in with the Spectre. Swings onto Poise. Can they make this one dangerous?
It picks up a bit of an upgrade, but I think Cryo, investing into the Operator in this round, wants to just try and scurry it away, store it away, save it into the next round. But FaZe is going to be on the board of a round here, it's looking like.
Makes a lot of sense from Cryo's perspective that he would want to save the Operator. I thought Aaron was going to try and do some damage. FaZe only losing a single player in this round should be pretty reasonable. Flyer can't pick up Poise's gun because Aaron's run away with it. That's a good start from FaZe. And there'll be some deep sighs of relief, partly for just getting back into the series, but
yeah,
immediately finding a round win is a major positive for FaZe, who've had to move locations entirely to play out the rest of this map and series.
Outstanding resilience, I think, to be able to come back into this one now for both of these teams as well, honestly. But obviously, FaZe having the harder circumstances all around, but now looking towards the next one. It's going to be that buy round for both of these teams, rifles in hand on either side.
Yeah, except look like they want to go aggressive in A main here, maybe off the back of a one-way from BCJ perhaps. Cryo exploring pretty much on his own towards mid, and you can see a lot of pings on the map there from FaZe. Knife Recon being used to try and control this avenue, and Cryo's taken a step backwards, giving a bit of respect, especially to that smoke. FaZe players could pop out from any side.
Certainly could, but for now, slow round by FaZe. And it's simmer for a little bit, the time being burnt off the clock.
Yeah, one of the big advantages in round 3 was that they were able to put a lot of utility towards B main at the beginning of the round and instantly pivot into an A hit. This round is just a default. They don't actually control B or A main. Might start working their way towards Cat. We've seen in the game that Optic played against XSET that this catwalk area towards Tree is very heavily contained by XSET. If you're trying to get through Def and BCJ, good luck to you.
The FaZe now set up for the B split. It's looking like the knife's going to be getting that connection. The players working their way through into market. Now trying to find their way onto the side, and it's down to these anchors. Aaron just behind. Will he get the support of his teammates? Seconds get taken out. He only grabs the one, eventually traded, but XSET, a fast response from them. They've already rotated in, and it's BCJ who just catches the tail end of Baby Bay.
So now a 3v3, and I think XSET are confident all 3 of them are in sight. You saw Def just glancing towards market. They might think a player's on the lurk, and in fact, just close the door.
Well, the knife was going to be scattered across now onto the site. Just try and push back. Except make sure that they can't find their way into this one. All the noise cues just being cut away from them. A slight jiggle. Flyer just gets a bit of information for that one, but the players still not quite committing. BCG, okay, he's finding some fantastic kills, and the return is there. Swing in time from Def and the rest of them. That's going to be the defuse on the board for them.
What an insane round from BCJ. Not only does he pick one up as FaZe are getting into the site, and kind of acts a little bit like a site anchor, even though he's positioned over at CT to be able to grab one of those kills on the entry. Not only that, but he retakes while kind of deafened. I think he was still deafened when he was picking out those kills at lane. It's a nice idea from FaZe in the post plan. Nevertheless, utilizing the Nightfall at the same time as a recon dart, the power of this triple initiator composition, it tagged up the XSET retakers, and they were very lucky to escape with their lives.
Yeah, typically you're going to see a couple of them go down to the warband kills, but in that instance, they just about scavenged the round out.
Cryo starting again over at B main. They are layering the Killjoy on top of the op, which seems like a weird setup, but the idea is that it's unexpected. And FaZe are trying to find an early timing through Tree before Def and BCJ are set up.
Quite dangerous for them. The Prowler's going to get that connection. Still need to try and control this one, and Poise just split up there from the fragment nade. His team just couldn't follow up and help him out. Still with the rifles, the pull as well as that. See the fragment in place. They can just standing his ground and just using the drone out in the open. Absurd there, but still now a flash to try and retake control, but the XSET players have got the crossfire. FaZe players just toppling one after another.
Yeah, very, very weird situation to just see a Sova channeling via their mind the drone whilst being sucked into the center of a pool there. But overall, I really think FaZe are going to struggle to get through on any of these A pushes if they're going mid to A. That tree hold with the KO and the Omen is devastating. They have
So
flashes to re-peek. They have a one-way that you have to push through. They have a nade to be able to re-clear. It's just been devastating. If Optic couldn't manage it, I don't like FaZe's chances.
To look somewhere else, I think, for opportunities. It's the half buy. See the tour de force for Dicey. That's going to be the horn to try and take some space from FaZe. Moving forwards now. To mid with the door in play. Okay, Cryo. Right through the Prowler.
Great opener. And you're right, it was a wallbang shot. Through the Prowler, still finds the kill. And Cryo's been eating Dicey's launch.
Angle just being taken. A flash through into it. Drops down the Cloudburst to try and survive. It's fast approaches by FaZe. That's a flawless for XSET. No damage being done.
All the way back 2 hours ago, Brent, when we were discussing Ascent, we were talking about the fact that both of these teams did really well on these respective sides in their most recent game. When FaZe played against NRG, their attack half was sublime. I think it ended 10-2. And then for XSET, they had a similarly excellent half on their defense against Optic. So the question really is, who was going to break first? And thus far, XSET's defensive side has looked pretty immaculate. All of the strength still coming through. The operator looking beastly in Cryo's hands. He's 8-0.
Feels a little bit rushed from FaZe, honestly. A lot of the beginnings of these rounds seem to be quite all in. Getting crushed by these defensive setups by XSET. Can't blame him after what's happened, but...
An XSET play control A main at the beginning of these rounds. Here we go, though. Zekken, off-site, still getting caught by this ultimate. Can't use any utility to help Aaron.
Fast again now with the Cosmic Divide to try and split it up. The players, they need to get themselves into it. Nice little tag there.
Do they expect BCJ? He used his Omen ultimate and they're just fighting CT.
Straight into it. Def somehow gets two. Still crying out, popping off the knives. The Bladestorm in play. You've got to be joking. Running right into him. And he's just absolutely sliced and diced them up. Superman though, he returns. Let's get that one pick off down to the 1v1. He's on 31 health.
His teammates will be reminding him the Omen ulted this round. He could essentially be anywhere, but I think you can make a fairly reasonable guess that BCJ would have gone into the back B site. It's a very common position. Superman here is in spawn, hoping that BCJ is finding a timing.
To try and walk potentially past him, but
that's not going to be the case.
22 seconds in the round, Josh.
The good part for Superman here is that BCJ does believe he's rotated A.
Yeah.
He just took a different avenue, so Superman is going to get a free plant here.
10 seconds left.
I'm running solo. Smokes it up. Not aware yet that he's got that free plant.
That was Superman's last star that he used to smoke in case BCJ was on the site. He doesn't have one now for a pull as BCJ goes to defuse. Superman can now be fairly confident the site was open and BCJ was elsewhere. BCJ's still with a paranoia, though.
Yeah.
And his Superman's incredibly weak.
It's not looking ideal for Superman, but if he was able to convert this round, it could be exactly what FaZe needed to get them back.
BCJ's clearing spawn. He's so confused about where Superman could be positioned.
Smoke drop down. Oh, and a spike has been covered. A bit of random spam. Surely not like this. BCJ just sticking it.
Tragedy.
Oh, man. Ice cold under the pressure. Gives up the gun at the end of the day, but the round, always more important.
And Superman gets 4 for a collection of 5 deaths, 5 kills for Superman so far. Collected 4 of them in that round, still not able to win.
Oh, man.
BCJ with a really smart smoke that not only covered his diffusing position, covered the spike as well, so Superman couldn't tell whether it was a fake or not. Brutal. Unfortunate in terms of the spam in there as well. That drops FaZe down now onto a really rough buy. Dicey is going to force the rest of the team taking a half buy.
He opts into it with a half armor, just to have 2 rifles on their side. Does make sense. Could be a difference maker in this round, but risks are going to have to be taken here for FaZe.
I think XSET deserves so much respect for how they've built this map up. Used to be their permaban.
Yeah.
Never played it at all. recently re-added it back into their pool. That's a great opener, though, by Dicey. This area of the map has been an absolute menace for the attackers to get through. But Dicey's just cracking it open.
Dicey's positioning there, just expecting that there could be a reclear from one of the players. BCJ now, up close and personal. Dicey wanted to try and capitalize once more, just taking control of it.
This is the problem. How do you get through that one way? You really need a smoke of your own. But Superman's not with them, not giving utility for them either. Focused on his own battles.
Winning that one out, though. That's a good kill for them. And the cross not really being smoked off. So he's going to be returning with one of them. But still the FaZe players barreling through that tree area. Plan's going to go down. It's down to Cryo now. 1v2 for them. FaZe, a critical round for them to win, and they are going to be carrying it forwards. Luckily, those rifles that they invested into, Josh, definitely putting in the work there. Most notably, Dicey.
Yeah. Fabulous, fabulous performance from Dicey to open that round up. It's a single round that they get in addition. So now currently sat at 6-2. It's a pretty hefty deficit, especially considering the damage they were able to inflict on NRG. They'll take it. Every round matters.
Every round indeed. Maybe carry forwards the operator. Yeah, they did. Managed to pick that one up. So Dicey's going to be working with that one now on the attack side.
It's an interesting choice for a triple initiator comp to also be opping. I feel like they might struggle in terms of who's supposed to be entering here. It's got to be Baby Bay now on the KO. But if they can work picks instead with Dicey's op, they might just set themselves up for a massive player advantage situation when they finally do hit a site.
Ultor picked up. Not a drone sent flying.
I am choosing not to break it here, relying on Def's ultimate, in fact, and Dicey peaks. Just finding the timing perfectly on when Cryo would swing after the drone got knocked out.
Yeah, that repeak. A huge kill for Dicey. No command going to be waited out. Just backing away. It was all just being used so that they could cancel out that drone. FaZe are looking like they are just primed here for a retake. A re-hit, I should say. Hunter's Fury is waiting, obviously, for Flyer. That could be supplementing this push now coming through.
Coming into this map, Dicey had the most first kills out of anybody.
There we go.
And he's set them up for a 5v4.
Beautiful work here with the Hunter's Fury, trying to push these angles back. Defto still alive, and second comes Win. One of his own. The ultimate being ripped across. Baby goes down here, dropped to the floor, and they still do not realize that Def is just ready and waiting once more in hell. With the ultimate coming off, the Killjoy ult, there's nothing to stop it.
Now, how do you deal with this? Dicey's doing his best. Yeah, they're just out of here. There's 10 seconds on the clock. They are just, I think, going to be able to get this one over to B.
And nobody's watching that angle as well, so his plan is not going to be denied. Dicey as well, he's just making moves, lurking through.
Oh, that's absurd that FaZe have got the better end of this one.
How have they managed that?
After not clearing Def and dealing with the lockdown, I think XSET assumed there was no time for the spike plant.
Yeah, just assumed that they would have the edge in that one. They couldn't rotate back to the other side of things, but now left up to Zekken. FaZe. Lovely angles in terms of the crossfire they've got. Yeah, that's an impossible task for Zekken to try and win out. Another one for FaZe.
What a tight call from Poise there in terms of rotating the spike over to B. If there had been a single player from XSET still holding the other side of the map, that would have been devastating. That opening kill is just fabulous. Dicey is doing it for his team right now.
Just capitalizing off of all this chaos as well. Yeah, and you can feel it. The XSET players realizing a little bit too late there. The rotation's coming down as they realize, oh, they're actually going to be able to get that plant off. But it's set the stage now for FaZe to have a much better chance when it comes to carrying this one forwards.
Definitely. The jet being detected over at B gives them some idea of what their defensive setup looks like. XSET continue to put a little bit of attention towards A main at the beginning of these rounds. BCJ and Def work hand in hand to grab that area, but that's not where FaZe are. Working towards a B split.
Angle being held. Swing, that's going to be some information for XSET. Cryo. As he found that one, the Sheriff ripping someone's head off. He's got a bit more. Just swings back into it. Got the info, of course. Even the recon just pointed him out. Back in now with his job. Just wants to hold this one. A couple of shock darts to try and push them back. But now FaZe, they want to try and glide their way into it. Inside the flash. Pretty sure Aaron just couldn't really see too much in that scenario, but he just pre-fires at the right time. And another one for him, just rattling them away. A thrifty for XSET.
Oh, what an absurd round from Aaron. He's anchoring the position in backside, saves Zeken's life, and swings around for another 2. Cryo does brilliantly to find the first picks. But then Aaron pulls magic out of nowhere. Take a look at this on the replay. This was the beginning kill. Just Flyer peeking slightly too far. That one's ridiculous.
Just a confidence forward. Aaron playing the anti-flash as well as soon as he hears it coming out.
Oh,
no one's looking.
And part of that is no one's looking at Aaron because BCJ is sprinting into sight from stairs. And that's what BCJ's done so well in these kind of B-hit scenarios. He is an A player. He plays towards tree, grass kind of area, but he's going to be fast on the rotate. And the XSET player's job on B is to slow you down enough so that BCJ can wrap in from CT and help out. He's been very, very good in those scenarios. And he's the crucial hidden player there to set up Aaron for 2 fairly easy kills, actually.
Timeout for FaZe. Believe their money situation, they should still be able to buy into this. At a decent amount of bankroll being built up.
Definitely. Question here of whether Dicey wants a tour de force in his hand or a Vandal. He looks like he's going to ult. It's a 4-player stack from XSET over on A. What am I looking at here? Aaron now starting to back off and pull himself over to B.
Yeah. One way. Waiting for the contact. Okay.
So it looks like it was just a last-minute call for Aaron to rotate and get set up on the B side. His Killjoy utility really late to be activated, but not punished this time.
Paranoia flash. So look at to punish this one again. The counter flash to try and regain a bit of space. Take back the positioning.
The question for FaZe here, do they know Cryo's still here as well? This looks the same as when Def and BCJ are playing it, just the 2 of them. But in fact, Cryo was there for a while. Now Cryo taking his operator and moving it towards mid. Not in reaction to the alarm bot being broken, just a feel in terms of how FaZe are maneuvering around the map.
Moving around. Baby picking it up, he's got the null command. Positioning her. And waiting, looking like they want to go into this one with a bit of a B split. From mid, the players have already gained control of B main, and there you go, letting it rip. There's one of the ultimates. BCJ's just watching that one angle though. Second, holding it logs, and it does not get cleared. And the guy just swinging around, finding the shots, regardless of all of it, all the pressure being applied. BCJ just getting away with it, and now Flyer left alone, back against the wall in this 1v3.
There's that push from BCJ again, running through CT in order to relieve pressure from the site anchors, allowing Aaron to stay alive. And now there's 10 seconds left, and Flyer's just going to run into Aaron here in sight, if indeed he's able to do anything at all. 5 seconds left, no chance.
All peeking him at the same time.
Gorgeous coordination, and it takes it getting up to 8. They have looked outstandingly good on Ascent, only just getting pipped to the post by Optic, the best team in the world.
Yeah.
And FaZe, unfortunately, not able to hold a candle to this defense so far. Their attack half was sublime against NRG, but they just can't find the same openings.
And we've seen some honestly bizarre stuff over the course of this series with comebacks and back and forths. Final round now of the first half. FaZe be doing everything in their power to see if they can convert it, bring it to that 8-4. Any sort of chance for it. Early shock dart just to push away the pressure. Prowler into mid from FaZe as well. They want to try and take some space there.
Drone comes through from Cat, indicating that Zeken's playing around the tree kind of areas. And it's quite a safe, passive setup on B right now from XSET. A reminder that even if FaZe lose this round, they've come back from a 9-3 deficit so far in this series. They took Icebox to overtime, despite being down.
The players rotating though. Looks like FaZe want to be trying to set up for the A hit. Perfectly timed ult there. BCJ is going to be getting a ton of information. It's going to start to put a bit of a time pressure, I think, onto FaZe. So you can feel it now slipping away as the information, the element of surprise is going to be missing from this one. But that knife attacks onto 4. 45 seconds left. The FaZe really want to still commit into this.
Spike down A.
Loitering around just through the choke point. They really can't afford to just press the advantage and push forwards now.
Cryo getting his knives online, prepping them for when the sight hit comes through. He's going to be able to go for an updraft peek that'll help Def out in his anchor position again. They're thinking 2 steps ahead here, and they're still prepped for the re-hit. Aaron's had no contact on the alarm bot or the turret. They're pretty confident this is still A.
Eagle Pete just in case, but now time is running so low. 12 seconds left. They've left it as late as they possibly can. The players now just need to come up with the goods, but how do you do it? XSET were completely aware. All the prior information to know that hit was coming in. And that is going to do it for that first half. XSET leading things 9-3 now. We'll see if FaZe are capable of battling back to stay in this series and stay in the road, the running here to represent North America at Copenhagen. 4 rounds, that's all that stands between XSET and the chance to represent North America at Copenhagen. Looking at that ticket to Copenhagen.
Their first international event, their first opportunity to represent North America, and their first time really stepping into that upper echelon, the elite teams in the world. XSET have always been on the outside looking in, watching the big boys play from their spot in the playground. And now, finally, they might be ready. This could be their time. We've seen a comeback, though, in this series already from 9-3 down. FaZe took us to OT before, despite only winning 3 rounds in the first half. It has been a bizarre series and a break from the norm when it comes to how FaZe have played in the playoffs. But they're still fighting tooth and nail.
Yeah, never willing to count out FaZe.
They've just got something about them.
These players have shown so much resilience so far, all the way up to this. From group stage to the playoffs, all the way to now, but we've got to deal with this XSET push fast and loose all the way through into market. Dice is going to be now teleporting all the way to the back. He's got to try and anchor it though. The swing timing, it's not quite there, and he is just being swarmed from way too many angles. The Horn to supplement to try and help him out. It's going to be dealt with easily enough, just up to Superman and Poised.
Really tough situation here. FaZe desperately need the pistol round. And only Superman and Poised alive. Thankfully both on decent health. And nobody really in a backstab position for the post plan. All of the XSET players committed onto site. But what utility do they really have to break these crossfires? It's essentially nothing.
Yeah, and the one-way setup, you know exactly where Poised going to be pushing from. Even the paranoia. Superman.
Brutal.
Yeah, hard ass for him to try and win that one out in the situation that he was in.
And FaZe not even on the attack side where they can rely on the spike plant to get a force going. I think that's a question they've got to be asking themselves right now.
Yeah.
Down 3-10, do we want to force? Can we force? The money doesn't look good enough for them to put together a decent buy. They might just have to accept going down 3-11.
Oh, it's looking dire for him.
And for FaZe, just imagine what the morale must be like in the camp after the tech issues that they faced today and all of the trials and tribulations of the first 3 maps. It must be so difficult to keep your head above water as you see the scoreline receding further away from you and the thoughts of Masters getting further and further. It would require something special, something miraculous.
And it not working with too much. Miracle round from FaZe Clan to try and convert this one.
Even Dicey only has 3 bullets in the Headhunter. That's a player you're normally looking to. Wasn't quite able to land those shots, anchoring his position at backside. And XSET just getting more comfortable, leaning more and more into their role as the favorites in this series.
Oh, the jiggle of the movements. Cryo. Spectre in hand, he finds it an easy task, I think, to deal with any sort of players that might just be around here. And look at the discipline from XSET, making sure that every single corner is cleared before they end up getting this plant down, just in case.
Even using the shock dart onto that position where people might be holding with a couple of shorties. Really very diligent play from XSET. And FaZe, I doubt they even want to give them the ult points here. Try and play exits, see if you can punish anyone from XSET. And just die to the spike. I think that's the game plan, honestly.
Yeah. Just try and think about the percentage play. Minimize every advantage to your opponent. So you're going to need it. Except looking like they are just going to be stealing away that 11th round here. There's Aaron. Okay. Collects up onto Dicey. Just trying to avoid it. And yeah, it looks like they are just trying to wait around for that spike to go down. Denying any opportunity, any chance of giving away those ult points.
This is going to be a fantastic buy for XSET in their bonus, though. They're keeping 4 Spectres, a Bulldog, and full armor on most of their players, so they don't have to reinvest. Their economy is through the roof. I guess it doesn't make too much difference because FaZe simply have to win every round from here. There is very little margin for error. They can give a single round over the course of this comeback. They are going to have to mount something special.
It's going to take individual heroics, I think. They're not looking at any ultimates, honestly, to try and turn the tide of the fight here.
I do think it's so spectacular that XSET have been able to broaden their map pool and get to a position in North America where they're able to look like the favorites in these kind of games. They've always been a team that is the gatekeeper. They're one step away from messing with the top tier, but they're very consistent in dealing with upstart, upset teams like FaZe. But FaZe have had their number at certain times throughout this series.
Oh, it's been close.
XSET have been pushed, but they're really starting to flex now.
All the way. These limitations, but XSET, okay, they poke a little bit into the cat area, into tree, just making sure that they can pull a bit of the utility out, but they're going to be starting to pivot once more down to these players, seeing if they can anchor it. Flyer, back to back with Poise, just trying to dodge and juke, avoid this utility. Aaron gliding across, and look at that crossfire, the instant response. Baby Bay once more just works its way in, but not quite counting out Zekken.
Yeah, the round is not over yet. However, Zekken doesn't control the spike. It's dropped right in front of Superman.
FaZe, they've got a lovely crossfire onto this one. All the information being gathered as well. As soon as Superman takes contact into there, even if he fell, Dicey was ready to swing.
And the thing that I was praising BCJ for so much, in terms of how he rotates and helps out the B-site anchors, Baby Bay did the same thing. And it's even easier for Baby Bay with the flashes that he has on board. He can get through the smoke at CT. He can send flashes in for the backside players as well. I mean, the timing could not have been more perfect there to assist Flyer in backside. He's about to take a fight, and two of the players in XSET just topple over. And FaZe's composition has so many tools that make it really nasty to deal with on defense. They have Horn, Recon, all sorts of stuff. XSET struggled a lot dealing with Optic's version of this.
Yeah, they did. The layers of utility that you can send out when you're going for the anchored plays. Oh, BCJ though. What an opening to find. Dicey. Said his name so much over the course of this series so far. He's been their star player, their difference maker.
FaZe are grabbing some information in A main right now, using that Prowler from Poised as his last of the round to go and see whether anybody was grouping up in A main. And now, looking like they want to prod towards Catwalk a little bit too.
XSET just making sure not to give away anything by making noise, a footstep here or there.
The tree position does look significantly weaker without that Omen one-way, though. Poised and Superman having to be pretty mobile and now just leaving Poised alone.
Oh, boy.
And XSET found the timing past that Prowler, that was thrown 30 seconds ago. And they're in on A.
Yep, here comes the hit. The Horn to try and push them back there, but yeah, all the players just ducking, weaving, hiding in and out of all of these smokes. A bit of run and gun in action. Poised. He's desperate to see if he can catch a stray bullet, but BCJ impeccable with that one. Finds it with the timing, the paranoia to push them back even further. It's down to just 3 players of FaZe.
And if BCJ gets full threatened here, he still has his ultimate to be able to get out and regroup the rest of the team.
Flash them worked away though, that's Superman. Great kill onto death. Need a bit more though. All that utility to try and flush out the angles. XSET are so cautious. They understand what they're up against here.
And Cryo just looking like he wants to take XSET home. The star players, the heavy hitters coming out for XSET. Cryo's had a demonic map and an incredibly good series. This is going to be XSET getting themselves to series point. One step away. A whisker from Masters.
Massive for all the players involved.
They've been waiting forever for this, Bren.
Yeah, this opportunity.
And they've had to fight for it. They've had to earn it. When the other teams in North America have been a little up and down, when certain favorites have not turned up in playoffs, when others have been upset or eliminated by your NRGs or your FaZe, throughout the year, XSET has been there consistent the entire time, and now finally taking that step forwards.
And it's on the other side of things, FaZe taking this time out now, mulling it over.
They've had a lot of time to think about their approach to Ascent.
Oh, they certainly have.
But taking one last discussion among the team, try and figure out what the adaptation should be. A reminder, XSET only got 2 rounds on their attack half against Optic, when Optic were running the triple initiator comp that FaZe are currently on. So XSET already have more rounds than they managed to get against Optic, just by virtue of winning the pistol. The double pistol round win, insanely important for XSET in this series, in this map.
Yep. Always dangerous, though, going up a team that's recently lost like that. A lot of ammunition for them to improve upon.
Of course. And I think they have already, just from the small glimpses we've seen. FaZe throwing in some aggression into it. Is this going to be a classic FaZe round here? It's such a wonky buy.
Everything's really being dumped into this mid push.
Double Spectres and a Sheriff. One last hurrah potentially here for FaZe as they try and put the hurt down.
It's all on the line for it. Taking the space into mid, just trying to find these long angles. All the players are there. Baby Bay with one. Finds the second. Eventually returned. The damage has been done here. FaZe maybe opting to take a couple more risks while they're at it as well. The off angle by Flyer just about dodges though. The cloud burst. They're so well drilled. XSET are dealing with it well enough. Moments away potentially from being able to secure their spot. Going to Copenhagen.
But it is still a 3v3, and FaZe have got the flank off here. They know there's nobody in B main. They're approaching from all avenues for this retake. Superman still with a star to work with. And Poised Haunt online. VCJ, I can't tell whether that was for info or whether he was planning to actually commit to that one.
He gets the info though, regardless of what the intention was. He finds out where Dice is playing. Now a stun against the box here. Everything on the line here for FaZe. They need to be perfect with this execution. The shots firing. It's down to the 1v1. Dicey versus BCJ. Both of these players have been monsters in this series. The responsibility, the mantle of it, it's never been higher. Taking it the side angle, and he's broken his ankles. BCJ with a teleport off to the side. XSET with that. They have secured their position. They will be representing North America, no matter what, at Copenhagen.
Incredible performance for them over the course of this series. Their players really stepped up. The playoffs run has been fantastic. This team has hit their final form and have looked like the second best team in North America. Hey, they still have a finals to play.
They do.
Maybe they'll be able to pull out the win against Optic as well. But undefeated in terms of the run that they had in that upper bracket up until they hit against Optic. Only taking a single loss in the group stage as well, topping that group, and now finally making it. What a sweet moment it must be for the XSET players. They deserve every moment of this.
They really do, yeah. And I mean, a shout out to FaZe, I think, as well, with their, honestly, the battle back performance that they've had to make it all the way. But right now, the glory of this one is going to be going to XSET. We're going to go to a short break. Our analyst desk is going to be breaking down the match of the day. Don't go anywhere, guys. It feels weird me saying that again, but I assure you, they are going to be talking some cool stuff.